Hey guys, what's up? It's Mac, and I am here today with Joe in freaking Switzerland. We decided to do a video on being trans and also being gay, so being a gay trans man. Are you straight?
No, I identify like 98% gay, and the rest, I don't know.
Yes, like literally same. 98, I would say, is a good number. Like,
Yeah.
most of the time, I'm gonna be like, ooh, that man, gimme, gimme. But I am also, open to like maybe dating like a non-binary person or maybe a girl, but I really only like masculine people. So if it was a girl, it'd be like a masculine kind of personality girl. Why don't we talk about what growing up was like in terms of like people you had crushes on and whatnot? So why don't you tell us about that?
Since I was 5 years old, I always had crushes on boys. So that wasn't a big deal, obviously, because everybody thought I was a girl. So I guess that was the lucky side of it.
Yeah. So it made it seem like, oh, you were straight. So
Yeah.
There's nothing to be questioning. Like, you're not a lesbian. Like, people don't think you're a lesbian. They just think that you're straight, which is normal.
Yeah.
Right? So a lot of people have asked me, that's the same thing for me growing up. I always liked boys. But I was also kind of a tomboy, so it was kind of weird. But people just assumed I was straight. So when I first realized I was trans, I was like, shit, I also still like boys. So why would I transition from, the privileged straight girl, nothing wrong there, to being a gay trans man? Like, that's just double discrimination. You're just asking for discrimination right there. So why would I do that?
It's not the same thing. Gender and sexuality are
Yeah.
separate, and you can't influence that.
Exactly, and so I feel like my gender comes first. Like, I am a man, and then, like, it's just math, I'm a man that likes man. Man plus man equals gay.
Yeah.
So that's that. Good times.
So the other reason was that I couldn't like accept myself because I only saw straight trans guys, or especially straight trans people. So I was like, you can't be gay and trans, like that's not a thing, that doesn't exist. And then when I started like looking up trans YouTubers, I found like 3.
Which were, like, who?
Well, Chase.
Chase
He's
Ross.
not gay, but
He was, like, queer.
Yeah, Val,
Mm-hmm.
Alex Birdie and Jake Edwards.
Yeah.
Those were the one I found, and I watched all of their videos just because I didn't have any other representation.
Exactly, and it was just exactly the same, because I was watching, YouTube videos, like, straight up every minute of every day for, like a year. And you didn't find many gay trans guys, so it made you feel kind of like, this is weird, like, maybe I'm not trans because I like boys, like, I don't understand. And so, nowadays, I'm not exactly sure why. I guess it's just because, you see more trans people coming out just because society accepts it more, So, like, it seems like there's more trans people, but it's just, now these trans people are coming out. They were always in existence. Now they're just coming out and you're seeing them. And so, I feel like, on Instagram and on YouTube, I'm seeing so many gay trans guys. Like, so many. Like, everyone's gay now. And it's like, I guess it's just the same thing. Like, society accepts it more now, so
You can be trans and gay.
Yeah, and so, like, the gay trans guys have always been there, but now they feel more comfortable. And I feel like a big part of it is, like, when you transition to a trans man, you feel like you have to have, like, this masculinity, because you can't let anyone see any sort of feminine side, or they'll question your gender. Right. And so, since you're this masculine person, you're obviously going to be with a girl, right? Because straight man, masculine.
Mask for mask.
Mask for mask. And so, but I think it's the same thing, just like people are feeling more comfortable now with their gender and their sexuality. So dating is another part, of being anything. But when you're gay, dating is interesting. And when you're a gay trans man, dating is interesting. Yeah. So there's kind of always the question of, like, when do I come out to him? How do I come out to him? Do I even tell him? Which obviously you have to tell him at some point, right? Because, But, Joe, tell me about your experience with, like, when and how you've told guys you're trans.
So, at the beginning, when I wasn't on T, and when I was only, like, a few months on T, I told them before I met. But it made the whole thing kind of awkward, maybe just because I was still so awkward and uncomfortable. When I started passing, I only started telling them on the first date, normally, except for if I didn't like the guy, didn't tell him. Which I thought is quite a good strategy, because you see the upfront reaction of the person. Like, they can't fake anything, they can't fake the first reaction, and you see it face to face, which I like a lot.
Rather than if you tell them like over Grindr.
Yeah.
Like then they have like a second to freak out or something before.
And then they can pretend it's fine, but it's actually not, which I don't want to.
Yeah. So you tell them normally on the first date, how do you bring it up?
Well, I try to slide it in the conversation naturally, so somehow on most dates we were talking about how our coming out went, and I was like, yeah, my coming out was a little different because I'm trans, or something like that, or just like bring up a story that you then can out yourself in, so that it's more natural, instead of like, I have to tell you something, and then it's this huge deal, and they're gonna freak out like, oh my god, what is it, like.
Yeah, so sliding in naturally seems to be the best way to go. Have you had any bad reactions? Like,
well, not like extremely bad. Like, one guy just looked at me for the rest of the date, like he just saw a ghost. That was really awkward. But nobody like insulted me or anything. It was just that maybe it was like kind of awkward for the rest of the date, and then we didn't text anymore. But that was fine. Like, yeah.
There's kind of a big controversy of if you're on like dating apps, you know, like Tinder, Grindr, OkCupid. In Switzerland, they have something called Lavu, right? That's how you say it?
Yeah.
Lavu. It's always a question of, like, do I put on my profile, like, in your bio, you can be like, oh, hi, my name's Mac. I love hiking, and, oh my god, I love walks on the beach. Also, I'm trans. Like, so do you say that in your bio, or do you wait to, like, meet them, or have a, like, chat with them first? And so, a lot of people like to be upfront, because that's just, like, a weed whacker. Like, if they don't like that you're trans, great, they're not even gonna talk to you. You don't have to waste your time. So that's a strategy. I don't really like that strategy, just because I like someone to get to know me first, you know, before they, like, make a decision, because they could just be like, oh, you have those parts, no thanks.
Yeah.
Whereas if they get to know your personality, like, maybe they can overlook and accept that your body's slightly different.
Also, if they don't really know what trans is, they're just like, oh, that's weird, I don't know what that is.
Exactly.
And then they, like, don't even talk to you.
Yeah, and you don't have a chance to, like, explain it to them. But whereas, like, if you're at a date, and, like, you're like, oh, yeah, because I'm trans, and they'd be like, what? And you can be like, oh, well, I can explain this to you, like, do you have any questions? And then it's like, they're not just like, oh, that's weird. Yeah. Left swipe, you know? So I normally wait until I meet people, and so I have never told anyone on the first date that I'm trans, and I've never told anyone in person that I'm trans. So I've always been too scared. Joe's like a courageous little dude over here, and he tells them, like, straight up, oh yeah, I'm trans. Whereas I go on maybe like 2 or 3 dates with them, and then I'm just texting them, and I'm like, you know, I have the weird conversation, like, you know, I kind of have to tell you something. Or like, they'll be like, oh, do you want to, like, go, like, have dinner tomorrow? And I'll be like, I would love to, but just so you know, like, if we're going to continue to hang out, I'm trans. And so I've had multiple people be like, oh, yeah, that's cool, and we've continued to go on dates, but then I don't go on any dates with them anymore because I'm not into it. You know, how dating works. So, Joe, do you have anything else to say about being gay and trans? Like, do you have any advice for people that might be gay and trans?
Well, just be true to yourself. Like, it's not a shame to be gay and trans. It's fine. It's not any less worthy than being a straight trans person.
So, yeah, that's our topic of being gay and trans. It's our life. It's a cool life. It's the life we lead. And this is us. So, if you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, comment down below, share this video on my channel with your friends. And if you haven't followed me on social media, what are you doing? The links are in the description. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.